Hey, Vegeta! Where's your off button?
Hey guys, DP Bry here, and today I am here continuing with What If Fasha Survived? Part 8. Now I know you guys have been looking forward to this one. I've had it requested quite a few times throughout the comments. And so finally decided it was time to get back into this one, and well, now that I've had some idea on where I was going to go with it next, and well, it's certainly been quite the interesting story for Fasha, who had miraculously survived the incident involving Dodoria and his men ambushing her and her entire team of Saiyans. And well, rather than just killing her off, just like Toei Animation did for their Bardocks TV special, I more or less had it that she somehow managed to survive, just, picking herself up, dusting herself off from the rubble, and just managing to survive. And yeah, and well, then learning the truth of what happened to her homeworld, Frieza destroying it, and of course her realizing the planet is no longer there, she, well, decided to go to Earth to track down that other Saiyan space pod, who of course turned out to be little Kakarot, who's been more or less sent off world. And well, it took Fasha quite a few years to actually track Kakarot down, just due to Kakarot being as weak as he was at the time, more or less blending in with the average power levels of the human race. At least until the events of the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai came down, and this is where Fasha came face to face with Kakarot, who is known as Goku at this time, because, bumped his head, forgot everything. And this led to Fasha more or less becoming almost a mother figure in Goku's life, and more or less training with him while she was thinking of a plan to get her revenge on Frieza. However, for a time she sort of began to forget about feelings of revenge after more or less being taken in by the Dragon team, and just becoming part of that big family. And also, throughout the years as Goku began getting older and becoming his own person, Fasha began to more or less admire Goku in a more romantic kind of way. And with Goku, it was more or less vice versa. After all, a pure Saiyan and a pure female Saiyan, sparring together, that is how Saiyans bond after all. And, you don't spend that much time with someone and, not develop feelings for that person on some level. And well, their love only grew stronger when they had to train on Kami's lookout for the 3 years in preparation for Piccolo Jr. And well, at the end of the Junior arc, they more or less got married, had a child, and well, this is where Raditz more or less came into the story. And well, thanks to Fasha being there, a Saiyan that Raditz is very familiar with, having known Bardocks' entire crew, and the times she would sometimes mess with Raditz, putting him in headlocks, giving him noogies, and making fun of him for being weak. Not in a serious manner, mind you, in a joking fashion, not like how Nappa and Vegeta ridicule him. And well, thanks to Fasha, Raditz believed her claims that it was indeed Frieza that blew up the planet, and actually more or less manages Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa, who are listening in, to come over to their side, and they actually do begin plotting revenge against Frieza, which eventually Fasha does succeed in getting revenge on Frieza during a big epic battle on some planet where they were hiding out. At some point, Frieza just sort of managed to track them down. And, well, with Goku getting badly wounded at the hands of Frieza, this triggered Fasha's Super Saiyan transformation, and she was able to put down the tyrant for good, and then proceeded to leave the planet where the Dragon Team and Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz and all that were hiding on, and pretty much led a one Saiyan army Super Saiyan assault on King Cold and got rid of him as well, and getting herself lost and learning instant transmission up on planet Yardrat. And, well, this is when Cooler was also more or less taken out of the picture by Fasha and Goku after Fasha, of course, returned home from her outer space adventure. Yeah, Cooler came knocking, and he was more or less taken out by the entire Sun family as well, because you had the addition of Gohan and Raditz there as well. Gohan, being Fasha and Goku's first child, being a pure Saiyan and a prodigy, quite the prodigy at that. And, well, this is where they more or less got warning from the future version of their second child, Bardocks Jr., who was warning them that 3 androids, not 2, will more or less lay waste to the planet and kill everyone, and that one of the androids is someone they knew. And, well, when the 3 years came and passed, they got the biggest shock in their lifetime when they identified the 3rd android was in fact Vegeta, who basically got tired of being weaker than the entire Sun family, making a scene every single time, and more or less everyone just being sick and tired of him. Vegeta sort of ran off on his own, sulking and training on his own, until basically he ended up towards the North Mountains, and basically he was ambushed by Dr. Gero and Android 19, who since built him into an android, and Vegeta since stirring up plans of revenge for the entire Dragon Team, because as far as they're concerned, they were just as guilty as putting him there as Dr. Gero. And, well, the story continued from there, and of course the Dragon Team barely managed to survive the encounter. And, well, this is where Cell began making his appearance, causing his trouble, just like he does in the original. And, after succeeding in absorbing 17 and 18 and leaving Android Vegeta damaged and, very badly damaged, Vegeta does agree to a truce with the Dragon Team. They've got a common enemy now. They've got to get rid of this Cell guy. And, with the stench of Frieza on Cell, because, Frieza cells and everyone else's cells, it's like one big insult. And so, with that, we got the whole Room of Spirit and Time fiasco going on as per, well, not really per normal, because all the Saiyans are taking a turn. And, well, Vegeta tries to actually signal Nappa to train with him. After all, Nappa's been his lackey for years. He thought Nappa might want to join him in for his day in the chamber, but nah, he refused to, shockingly. And this is where Fasha pipes up and volunteers to go into the Room of Spirit and Time with Vegeta. And, well, this is where our story now continues. Well, everyone else is more or less looking at news for the Cell games. Well, actually, they would have already known about this. They're more or less doing some last-minute preparations for the Cell games. Goku and Gohan more or less taking it easy like they do in the original. And meanwhile, inside the chamber, Fasha and Vegeta are training their hearts and souls out. Vegeta being stubborn, mostly training on his own. And, well, let's just say there was a reason Fasha volunteered to train with him. All this tension that Vegeta's been dealing, all this anger that he's been pitting with, it's been pointed at Fasha all these years. low-class Saiyan outclassing him and everything like that, it was time to once and for all put this at rest, bring Vegeta completely back into the fold, because Fasha does realize she was somewhat responsible for this, and yeah, it's time. She and Vegeta had a really good talk with each other. When I say talk, I mean a complete Super Saiyan / Android powered beatdown. And well, this gave them opportunities to just battle their frustrations out on each other. Fasha was angry at him for betraying them, becoming an android, and more or less, being responsible for harming people. And, actually letting Dr. Gero do this to him, complete insult and a disgrace to the Saiyan race in Fasha's opinion. And more or less, Vegeta still holds on to anger because he was more or less abandoned by the Dragon Team. And he felt that way. Sure, he was frustrated he couldn't do Super Saiyan transformation himself, but, how would you feel people you thought were your friends, more or less, abandoned you, didn't take your feelings into account whatsoever? And that's more or less Vegeta's rage, even though he doesn't really admit that. So, with them battling each other up through an exchange of fists and whatnot, they do manage to beat their frustrations out, and with that, Fasha just sort of looks to Vegeta and apologizes to him for more or less failing him. I'm sorry you felt you had to leave us. And I'm sorry that, that I never shared this power with you. Like I really care about any of that. I would have figured it out myself, Look, I know deep down you're just an unsure little boy, and that's pretty much how Vegeta behaves. He's definitely unlike his father, and Vegeta, even though he's not good at expressing how he really feels, you can sort of tell with that. The whole thing about wanting to be a Super Saiyan, it's all to do with his pride. And it's something he just never was really able to get past. However, through these training sessions with Fasha, and Vegeta showing really good results with it, mind you, and Fasha as well, because when they train together, they do really tear it up. And well, with that, Vegeta more or less actually apologizes for the trouble he's caused them. It's not exactly a really good apology. It's more like a I'm trying to think here, how would you phrase it? It was more like one of those, yeah, I'm sorry. It was genuine, but it just didn't sound genuine. And well, this is pretty much as good as you're going to get with the Saiyan Prince anyway. And well, with that, the two do emerge from the chamber, and both of them are quite significantly more powerful. How powerful? They're about on equal footing. Vegeta and Fasha more or less jumps and embraces her husband Goku with a hug and a kid. And well, a few days later pass from then, and now it is time for the Cell games to begin. And well, this is pretty much a really huge battle right from the start. You got, after Hercule and his so-called alleged students attempt to battle Cell first, they're more or less defeated just like they are in the original. And now you pretty much have Fasha stepping up to the plate, battling with Cell first, and well, unlike Goku, Fasha actually does not intend on quitting or stopping the fight. And it's a very similar fight to how Goku and Cell battle in the original, because Fasha does have instant transmission as well, so she is able to avoid Cell's deadly Kamehameha attack. And well, with Cell's regenerative capabilities, the toll is more or less beginning to take a toll on Fasha, she's doing everything she can to defeat Cell, but it's just not quite enough. And well, more or less, Fasha is more or less beaten in the tournament, and Cell was actually going to finish her off with like a Frieza-style death beam. However, this is where Goku just sort of knocks it out of the way and gets his wife out of there. And Cell just looking on. Huh, so Goku, are you gonna fight me now? Come on, entertain me. And well, this is where Goku goes, I don't need to fight you, Cell. There's someone stronger here who can take you down. And well, this is where he points to his son, Gohan. And just like in the original, Gohan does have quite a bit of an arsenal of power, if not even greater than he is in the original. Being a full Saiyan and being the son of Goku and Fasha, he was actually born with a latent potential higher than what he had in the original. And I've always more or less stated that for a fact. And well, unlike the original Gohan, this one can tap into it right away. He's well aware on how powerful he is, and he's not so battle shy and doesn't mind the fight. After all, he is a pure Saiyan after all. And he is more or less a lot like his parents. He does have some traits from the original Gohan, but as far as being a Saiyan's concerned, he is all business. And well, Goku does do what he usually does in this timeline, giving Cell a senzu bean. Cell being confused by the gesture, but Goku's got that sort of look going, you'll see. And well, right off from the bat, Gohan is giving Cell a beating like you wouldn't believe. And Cell can't even do anything with this powered up Gohan. He is quite literally no match. And just like in the original, Gohan does hit him really hard, and he more or less perks up Android 18, who is more or less Vegeta's girlfriend in this timeline. Just, that common enemy and wanting to kill Zero and all that, they really bonded over that. So yeah, Vegeta and 18 are actually more or less a couple in this one. So Vegeta is quite happy to see 18 again. And well, after that, Cell gets desperate and goes to blow himself up like he does in the original, but instead of Goku sacrificing himself, because remember, he doesn't have instant transmission, it is Fasha that does the deed. She teleports to her son, smiling at him, telling Gohan that she is so proud of him, so proud of how strong he's become. And Bardock Jr. trying to talk her out of this. After all, that's her future second son. And Goku looking there just as shocked and more or less upset. And suddenly, Fasha uses instant transmission to instant transmission herself and Cell into somewhere in space. And pretty much, you can imagine Fasha's pretty much dying right then and there, because she can't breathe in space. And well, Cell blows up. So I guess the good thing about this is that King Kai doesn't get his planet blown up. And, yeah, as for that, no planet actually gets blown up. Fasha does die, and, this saddens Gohan even further and whatnot, but except Cell hasn't died. He does regenerate in the vastness of space, using now instant transmission that he's picked up from Fasha, and he has showed up, and he has immediately fired a death beam, well, piercing Goku. Goku ends up dead in that right there on the spot, and he then tries to fire another death beam shot, aiming straight for Bardock Jr. Gohan getting in the way of that, getting his arm damaged just like he does in the original. So now Gohan is more or less a bit weakened by this. And Cell is so sure he's going to win now. We get the whole big Kamehameha struggle with Gohan having to use one arm. And well, unlike the original where Gohan's worried about the state of the planet, if he does this, it can be restored by the Dragon Balls, and Gohan knows that. And he knows that full on well. And remember, he's not as timid as the original and unsure of himself. So there's no stopping Gohan. And what Cell just did to his family, killing both his parents, Gohan powers up with all his might, and Cell is disintegrated by the blast. Every last cell destroyed. Perfect Cell is dead. Moments before his death, Vegeta could only look to Gohan and just say, "I'm sorry for everything." After all, Android 17 and 18 were absorbed during his watch. And with that, Gohan passes out and he's taken to the lookout. And well, you're probably wondering, how is Fasha and Goku going to come back? There are no Dragon Balls in this reality anymore because Piccolo merged with Kami, and there was no Namek Saga in the previous arc. Well, after arriving on the lookout, this is where a glimmer of hope more or less hits our heroes. They get a sudden message from a mysterious stranger who has been left out of the series so far in the whole story. That is, of course, King Kai. And King Kai has gone,
Hey, kid, he's addressing Gohan. I saw the whole thing there. You really did Earth a great service, kid. I'm sorry to hear about your parents, but don't worry, I have a solution. You could just go to Planet Namek and ask to use their Dragon Balls. The coordinates are, whatever the coordinates are. And well, with that, after everyone's recovered, they're all aboard the new Capsule Corp ship on their way to Planet Namek, and the Nameks wholeheartedly agree to give them the Dragon Balls because they could actually sense what was going on Earth all the way through from there. If they hadn't stopped this monstrosity, he could have found his way to their planet and did the same thing. So the whole universe and galaxy is more or less indebted to these heroes. So yeah, no worries. Go ahead, use the Dragon Balls. And well, since then, you're probably wondering, is Guru still the eldest Namek? No, he passed away quite some time ago. It has been passed on to Moro, and well, they use their Dragon Balls, and well, for the first wish, they bring back Goku and Fasha, and well, with the third wish, they ask if any damage to the planet Earth can be restored. And well, they did. And then, well, they more or less ask if there'd be a Namekian willing to come back and be the new guardian of Earth so they can restore their Dragon Balls. And well, yes. And a young little Namekian named Dende volunteers. A very gifted Namekian child. And so, with that, they're on their way back to Earth with another month's space travel. And well, with their arrival, Earth is once again back at peace, and well,
Goku and Fasha are both alive again, thanks to their son's heroic deeds, and King Kai recognizing the bravery and heroism of the young child. And I think so now that Earth is now back at peace and have their Dragon Balls restored, well, yeah, the world is now back entering a new era of peace. And over the years, well, we've got a couple of new members to the Dragon Team family to be added. First of all, there is Raditz and Chi-Chi's child, Chi-Ra. And, of course, Fasha and Goku do indeed have Bardock Jr., the present Bardock Jr., their second child, and Vegeta and Android 18 also have a little girl named Regina. And I thought, yeah, that'd be a perfect name for Vegeta and Android 18's child. It's definitely an Earth name, but it also sounds kind of Saiyan. And yeah, I thought that would be pretty cool, as we are now beginning to more or less enter the Buu saga. And well, Vegeta is welcome at Capsule Corp whenever he wants to use the grav chamber. Nappa more or less is getting into his gardening and still training with the Dragon Team whenever possible. And well, over the years, Raditz and Nappa do cross into the ranks of Super Saiyan themselves. And yeah, and well, you got a more independent, more confident Gohan heading into the years of high school, where he has now met Videl, Sharpener and Eraser. And well, this is now where we're going to be leaving things for this story. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this story? Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments if you think there's something I've missed, or whether I've made a mistake that I haven't realized I made, or created some sort of inconsistency from any previous part I may have made. It does happen. It does happen. And yeah, I will see you guys again for the next video and more content for this channel. And you know, you guys take care. You guys are awesome. Yous who have been supporting this channel, and just the way the channel has grown. You know, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think I was ever gonna get, you know, even 400 subscribers doing this. You know, I knew there were other channels who did what ifs that do really, really well, get 100k subscribers, 500k subscribers, and you know, but I didn't actually think my channel itself would even hit 400 subscribers. Me doing Dragon Ball what ifs, me basically just sitting here in front of a camera talking about Dragon Ball Z. So it's really cool. So thank you guys for joining in. I'm glad you guys enjoy the content I do. And well, I'll be back here next time with more content. Alright, catch you later.